Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. I want to take a few moments to share with you some of the successes that the I Am Melanin Magic hair brand is having. Jimmy here, along with his father, have been dealing with hair loss presenting as bald patches and thinning throughout his hair for over 10 years. He decided, by way of his girlfriend, to give I Am Melanin Magic a try. With consistent use of the I Am Melanin Magic Magical Hair Growth Serum, using it 5 days a week for 8 weeks, these are the results that he was able to get. I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.
Manifesting your masterpiece on Amazon.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri. Also known as the I Am Melanin Magic brand. I hope that you all are feeling peaceful, productive, prosperous, living on purpose in your passion from a point of attraction that is positive. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. It is wonderful to be here as always. For those of you who are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. What took you so long to get here? And for those of you who continue to come back and support the channel, support my work, and also support the brand, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And this is a shout out for Grace. I met Grace at the Walmart in this tiny little town in Central Georgia. Hello, Grace. Hello, Grace. Hello, Grace. Grace, we walked past each other and Grace looked at me like this. I kind of got past her a few feet and she was like, "Are you?" And I turned around and I was like, "Sisterlocks." She was like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, who are you? Who are you?" There's somebody else all the way out here. So it was wonderful to meet Grace. And in talking with Grace, Grace told me she traveled 6 hours, y'all, to get her retightenings. That actually hurt me to my heart. It hurt me to my heart. She travels 6 hours to North Carolina to get her retightenings. No lie, that really bothered me. I'm looking to set up something on this channel that can assist with group communication. And I'm hoping it can help with things like that. So you guys be on the lookout. I'm going to be giving it a try and working on it over the next few to several weeks. And if I can get it up and going according to my approval, hopefully it will invite more community interaction around things like this and help some of you all find some of what you need. I don't know. It's a concept right now, but I'm trying to ground it into something, into concrete form. So we will see, but that really bothers me. For those of you who continue to ask me about the little goodies that I send with your I Am Melanin Magic, the little samples, well, this is some of the Unsi, and I'm using the metal adjustable arm burner with the tea light candle. And what you are seeing is just, I'm burning it very slowly, and it's just going to permeate the environment. And you know, y'all, I've been burning this stuff for years. You can also use the charcoal. Wait till it turns very, very gray. And if you want it to burn slow like this, just kind of crinkle it and wait until the charcoal is very, very gray. If you burn it when it's at its height, it's going to smoke up a lot and you'll need to move around, and you may want to clear the energy, you know, in your house. If you finish frying some fish or your house smells funky or you need to shift the vibration, then you do that. These are made from natural resins like frankincense, copal, Liban, like so many different things. There's ginger, dried ginger in here. There's over probably 17, 18 ingredients in most of the flavors, but this is the original flavor. And as you can see, it's just going to continue to permeate and permeate, and this will burn. This is an extended tea light candle, and this tea light candle will give you about 5 hours of burn. So this will just continue and continue and continue. I can break it up into smaller pieces. I can add the sage Unsi along with the original. Sometimes I'll do the sage and the lavender. sometimes just the vanilla. It's just amazing. It's going to help purify you. It's aromatherapeutic. It helps you to, you know, incentivize your environment. You romanticize. It helps you to feel good. You can put it in your bath. You can clear the energy with it. You can use it for some of your feminine activities. You can smoke your body up. You can smoke your hair up when it's wet. I have a video on this channel and a video on my Butterfly Transformations channel detailing how to do it. And all you got to do is search this channel for UNSI, UUNSI, or just, you know, Tunisia Ali and UNSI, and any of those videos will come up. You can also go to the I Am Melanin Magic website if you decide you want to purchase some of this premium blend here, or the Magical Hair Growth Serum, which is just getting dynamite results, or the anti-aging, which is why, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you might notice that I am kind of somewhat going backwards in terms of, I don't know, my skin and all of that. I've been doing it every day now since I released it to you all. And I guess it's been about a little over 3 years, but it's really made a tremendous difference. But you can go to the I Am Melanin Magic website. You can go to the UNSI pages, and then you can click on the video. There's a link that says how to use it. And if you read that page, you can click on the link, and then you'll be able to check out the UNSI and to check out some of the other products. But yeah, I saw Grace and it was amazing, and I was concerned about that trip. And then I got a text from one of you all, and I won't share the name, but I got a text from one of you all, and this really, I fall on both sides of this, but it sounds insane to me. Initially, I was like, wow, that's insane. But it's not insane for the people who are willing to pay that amount. It's not insane. And I'll always say, as an entrepreneur, when supply and demand is high, you have to raise the prices because you just don't have that time. And then you also can be more selective. And you can't be available to all people. And so to continue to do what you do, you're going to raise your prices naturally. Simply because of supply and demand. So I understand that. I also understand a person's individual value and their individual right to set prices that they feel reflect what they provide. This I thought was interesting though, and this is not the first I have heard about these retightenings. Every 3 weeks are now being recommended for $375. Up to 5 weeks, 6 weeks if you wait, $410. And if you're going in for retightenings every 7 to 8 weeks, $445. I'm not sure how many of you are willing to pay almost $400 a month to get your hair retightened. And I guess if money grew on trees, and for some people it does, and I don't want to misuse that because I am all about words are power and limited beliefs. But if money grew on trees, I'm still not sure. That would mean if money didn't have a value and it was like blades of grass, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal. But let's say you were spending on your mortgage $1,100 a month, and you were spending $400 a month on getting your hair done. That's a third of your mortgage. And it's going to be higher than your electricity bill, your gas bill, your water bill combined, and quite likely maybe even your phone bill. If like me, you do prepaid and you buy your phones up front and you get on a $45 or $50 plan. That's a lot, depending upon what your particular situation is. And I would simply just kind of want to know, it says that these are the starting prices, and there are other variables that could raise that price. So I want to know if any of you are paying that, and if so, how do you feel about that, and what about those prices make that worth it to you? Or if you're not paying that, what would you need to be getting in order to pay close to $400 for retightening every 3 to 4 weeks? And I just remember when I started this journey, the standard length for retightenings was 6 to 8 weeks. you know, the rotation period or the frequency. And even though I, after the first year, fell outside of that, because as you all know, I was easily doing 10, 11, and most of the time 11 and 12 weeks throughout, I don't know, the last, I don't know how many years. It just is a concern that you're now being encouraged to, on a routine basis, do 3 to 4 weeks to get a cheaper retie. And that's so damaging to the hair. Unless you were doing something like knotted locks, and even with knotted locks, there's not going to be a reason to do your hair that often. If you were to do it that often, it would likely be pulling on your scalp. And you know, one of the main points of knotted locks is that you have no pain, that your follicles can be fearless, hence fearless follicles, for those of you who are trying out the new product around the edges and want to know why my edges look so good up in here especially, okay? But I will tell you, you won't see any more plucked chicken look on my hair. And that's because, I mean, when I do my re-lockings with, like, it's going to be time for me soon to do one up here. But even if I were to knot this, and when I knot them all, you're not going to see the plucked chicken look. Although you can still see my grid, it's going to take some time for it to disappear. You're not going to see the plucked chicken look. You just are not. Because knotted locks is not going to do that to you, okay? We already know it's more dense. Your hair is going to stand up. But you guys know that if you're doing retightenings that often, you should be afraid, unless you're doing something that is something different, that's different than interlocking. With the knotted locks, you could tighten every 3 to 4 weeks. You could put a knot in there if your hair was growing that fast and you wanted to, and you just kind of wanted to have a little bit of hair. You know, you wanted it to be close to the scalp, but not too close, as you'll notice your hair is going to grow different in different areas. Like this one is ready right here. Okay, for sure. I could put a knot on that, but because this is a more dense lock, and I've put about 4 knots in here already, or 3. I already know if I put this in now, I'm going to have a knot and I'm not going to like the way it's going to look. So I'm going to wait, because I have all 4 different textures of hair. And depending upon what type of lock I'm messing with and what the texture of my hair is, I'll wait. Okay? If it were this one, I could get by, because this one is a lot thinner. But for the thicker ones around the front, I need to wait longer. But anyway, my point is just that that's a lot of money. And on one hand, I can understand the hourly rate. It's not the hourly rate that because people are working with their hands, they're on their feet, I understand that. But it's the fact that it's the type of project that has to be repeated on a regular basis. So it's not realistic. It's not realistic. I'm not sure that, I don't know. I just think that's pretty interesting. I just know I'm glad that that's not a concern that I have to have, but I would love to know what you all think. And if there are any of you who feel like you would pay it, and if you pay it, why would you pay it? And what would you be expecting to get? And these are rates that are becoming more and more common, because I believe you all heard me talk about on the channel a few months ago an install of worth $3,000, and another one at $2,600, and $300 for retightening, or $250 for retightening. So it's an issue of supply and demand. And it's also an issue of what the marketplace will bear. If people are not coming in droves for that rate, that price is going to have to come down. However, if this is a top-notch person who has these rates and there's a line for that person, then this person has to up their prices in order to make sure that, you know, if you got 100 people outside and you can only take 5, then you got to raise your prices, and those who are willing to pay will come in. So it's a double-sided conversation, or even more, it's multifaceted. But I just know that the frequency of that, wow, is really something else. So, you know, $100 per hour, when you think about it, is not a lot. My readings start at $150 for the standard reading. I'll do a less than an hour reading for $75. My readings start at $150 for 50 minutes to an hour, but I also don't expect to be getting someone doing a reading every day of the week, okay, or even every month, although some people will do a reading on a monthly basis, but that's still $150. And so, you know, now I have some readings that go and vary in price, but again, and some are higher than that, but again, and my coaching rates are higher than that, but again, it's not, the different quality of services, number one. It's a different service industry, number one. Number two, it is something that is recurring at greater intervals and is still less than this. And I don't know, people have paid for, I don't know how often historically people have paid $300, $400, $500 for a hair visit. I'm just not so sure. I remember, or I know that there have been people who go to the salon and they spend 2 or 3 hours in the salon and they still come out of there having paid less than $150, even if they were getting a relaxer or something else. At least that's the way I would remember it, although I never got a relaxer at a salon. And I wasn't a person that went to salons on a regular basis. I think I've gone less than 5 times in my life. But so it's not an industry that typically was seen as an industry that could command that. So times are clearly changing. Times are definitely changing. And this could be, again, based on the number of hours that the person is taking. So let's say, for example, at 5 to 6 weeks, this person is spending about 5 to 6 hours doing the retightening. That makes more sense. Although I still think that price on a retightening is going to be steep for the average person. And but again, there are people that are willing to pay that, and as long as there are people willing to pay that, then that is a fair price if people are willing to pay it. So I just want to know what you all think about that. It does seem quite steep to me. And as much as I love my Sisterlocks, and maybe it's because I'm somewhat independent and I can do a lot of the things for myself, or now my knotted locks, I wouldn't pay that. Just me personally, I wouldn't pay that. I can't find value in spending a third of, if I had a mortgage, a third of my mortgage paying for a hairstyle. That gives a lot of priority to the edifice and to my physical image, and I don't even think the way I look physically is worth that. I just don't. I think that's a lot for, I mean, I don't even spend a lot of money on clothing, and clothing is so I was gonna say it's a bit more of a durable good, but what you spend on your hair is important. But I don't know that spending money for my hair is worth it to me. Not that much money. Y'all know, you've heard me say I would go over $2,000 for an install because I know the value of Sisterlocks. But to maintain something at that level consistently, I'm not so sure if that is practical. I'm just not so sure that's practical. That's higher than most people's property taxes. It is. That $445 is higher than my monthly property taxes. I pay my property taxes once a year. That's higher than my property taxes for my home. So, and if you got to
purchase your copy of Manifesting Your Masterpiece at Amazon today.
Most people don't spend that much for gas a month, depending upon how far away from your job you are. It's easy for a family of 2 and even 3, depending upon how you shop, to spend under $375 a month on groceries, if you know how to eat on a budget. So it's pretty interesting. I would love to hear what you all have to say. I would love to hear what you have to say, because again, it depends on who the person is as well, because I'm sure that some of you would pay, if, for example, Dr. Cornwell did Sisterlocks, I'm sure many people would pay her well beyond that to do their Sisterlocks because of who she is, because of the trust that they have in her, and so many other things. So I'm so sure that a lot of people would pay her to do their locks. I don't know if they would maintain that on a month-to-month basis and pay close to what? Because you're looking at almost $400 a month. That's almost $5,000 a year. I don't know how many people would pay that on a monthly basis and be that committed. But if they could afford it, it wouldn't be a problem. Again, this is the issue of if you can afford this, which means if you have a value for it and you think you have to pay that to get the value, and if you could afford it. And if you can afford it, then it's not a big deal at all. And then this price will be set specifically for people who could afford it, to discourage people who are not willing to invest in their hair or who don't appreciate the quality of maybe what some people like this can provide. But that's a big, I still find that fairly interesting. So I'd love to have you chime in on that and y'all see what you think. Let me know what you think. And what I want to do right now is simply go into the channel, and I want to read a couple of comments, or I want to see what y'all are saying. I want to read two of the more recent comments. I read some on our last video. Again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe it. And I didn't talk much about my knotted locks this time. All I can tell y'all is they're doing great. They're doing really, really good. Y'all know I colored my hair a couple months ago, so I'm experiencing dryness from that. So I need to be more diligent with making sure I put oil down the lengths of my locks. But I knew what I was dealing with. The idea was to get the brightness so that now I can go back and decide what I want to do to lighten the hair up. But I do have a new little lock right here. This one is new. We'll monitor that and see how we're doing with that. And definitely don't forget to show up in the comments. That's the way that you give back to the channel so that we have a fair energy exchange. All right. So we have, this is from Brown Maffoon or Mafun. Please, people, you cannot wait too long if your hair grows outside of your lock, or you might have hair that grows fine in some areas, but the hair that grows outside the lock, you can redo those, and the rest that does not grow outside the lock, you can wait and do those later. So that's interesting. So she's saying that was on the video for 4-week retightenings and hair trauma. See, hair growing outside the lock is not something I got to worry about here. Because if I'm just grabbing the hair that wants to be around the lock. I'm not trying to stay on those. I'm not trying to keep those grids empty. And I have lots of hair that grows outside the lock. My hair has done that for years, especially in the back. It grows outside the lock. On the sides, but mostly around the back, maybe from here down. So now I just simply grab it and pull it in, and it feels good because now I know I'm not losing that hair and I'm not stressing that hair. I have a whole new lock over here that I started. Where's my baby? Right here. This is a new one, and that's a nice size right there if you consider. That's a nice size. So that's all hair that normally would have been forced in to a lock. And that hair always grows out. You just grow out all the time, all over the place. So then I'll just put it right back in. So you guys can weigh in on that. And now we have Maniel 37. I want to say thank you for helping individuals who are ready to make that change with their locks. If it wasn't for your channel, I would have never connected with Melissa. Thank you. Thank you. You are very welcome. Am I glad I connected with her? Hell to the yes. Y'all already know why. I was talking to a brother today that I met in Sam's who asked me about my hair, and then I told him about Sisterlocks because that's what people know. They don't know knotted locks. And once I began to have a conversation with him about that, because he mentioned his wife was interested in locks that look like this, then I began to tell him about knotted locks. But I'll say this for a lot of people. You may want to start with, if you're afraid or whatever, you may want to start with Sisterlocks. And then you may decide to switch at some point down the road if you get to a point to where you feel like your hair is in trouble. seriously. Or you may want to start out with a certain look, and then when you get used to that look, then you'll realize that your grid is not as important. My locks are as beautiful as they ever were, and to me, they're even more beautiful. And to know that they're going to get even thicker than what they already are, you know, I've kept my locks healthy, but I've had to work hard to keep them healthy. And that's why I've come up with those blends and shared those blends. But my goal, as y'all know, is to try to keep my locks as healthy as I can for as long as I can. And if I have anything to do with it, that's exactly what it's going to be like. So chime in. Let me know what you think. I'm showing you lots of love. Again, to give back to the channel and make this an equal exchange of energy. And the way you do that is you show up in the comments. If you don't do anything but put a purple heart or a red heart or a green heart. If you can find a green heart, put a green heart up there. Otherwise, just put the little colon and the parentheses. But show your love, show your love, show your love. I will keep coming to you, bringing you content. If you know of prices that are in the range of what we just discussed or even higher, let me know. I would love to be able to share that here on the channel to see what you guys think and to have you weigh in. Until next time. Talk to y'all soon.
Melanin Magic. If you want long locks,
luscious hair, radiant skin, want to look and feel good,
then I Am Melanin Magic is your brand.
I Am Melanin Magic,
And so are you. Hey ladies, do you love the way your skin looks and feels? I know I do, because I am using the I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum. And at 50, I love the way my skin looks and feels. This blend is bomb. It renews, revitalizes, rejuvenates, soothes, conditions, moisturizes, tones, brightens, and fades all in one step. So if you're ready to get your glow on, go get you some I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum.